I thought this is a perfect day to talk about how to prune a panicle hydrangea. It's late February right now, so it's a little bit warmer of a day, which is perfect to get outside. And this is a great time to prune these plants. You do not want to prune these in summer or in early fall because you'll prune off the flower buds. I leave this unpruned through the winter so that I can see these flower buds. You can tell that last year this was a spectacular blooming plant. So this is a perfect time of year before they break bud and get going, while everything is dormant, to clean this up. And what we mean by cleaning up or pruning this is not just removing this old spent flower buds, but also to eliminate any dead branches, crossing branches, reduce the size down so that it grows sturdy, solid branches to support the next year's blooms and to maintain the size that we want. Ultimately, it's the long-term health of the plant that we are going after here. So I'm going to talk about how to structurally prune this at a dormant time of year, February, Northern Illinois, here in the Chicago area. So I'll pull in close and I'll show you exactly what to do. What you need is a good pair of hand pruners. Do not shear a plant like this. You're going to selectively prune each branch with a pair of good hand pruners, as well as something to collect the cuttings. If you happen to be pruning a plant that has a disease, a blight, anything that is going on, you can transfer that through your pruners from one plant to another. So after you're done pruning that plant that you suspect may have a problem, just wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol before you go on to the next one, okay? I don't have a problem with this one, so I can just be pruning hydrangea after hydrangea after hydrangea. So panicle hydrangea, I have Limelight, quick fire, tardiva on my property here, as well as little lime and little quick fire as well. So you're going to prune all of those panicled hydrangeas the same way. So to get started, I do like to start at the base of the plant. One, I can see anything that maybe come up from the bottom, which like this branch right here comes straight up. It actually rubs a couple of branches at the top. It does not have any side lateral branches coming off of it. It just kind of suckered up from the base last year. So I'm going to get started with cutting that one off right there, because then I can pull this out and it opens up the middle of the plant. So now there's more light, more airflow, and more room for other branching to occur in the middle of the plant. And I can also see what I'm pruning a little bit more clearly in the branch. I also, as I'm here, see that this branch right here is a dead branch. So as I start pruning off anything that is dead, this one is a dead branch as well. Now I can see a little bit more. I see this branch right here is actually coming from the other side of the plant and curving up this way. And I'm going to want to remove that one as well. So I'm going to see if I can get right in here and remove that one and clean it out. So I clean up the base of the plant first, which automatically starts clearing the middle as we go. Now, as far as reducing the height of the plant and removing these spent blooms, I certainly want to remove this bloom and I want to go down to a set of buds, but I want to select how far down. I'm usually aiming for about 1/3, but I kind of feel like this is still a little bit high, so I'm going to go to here. And when I make this cut, I'm leaving like maybe 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of stem exposed above this bud, so that when this starts to dry, it does not impact these flower buds. From this point, new branching will grow out. And I will continue to move around in a similar manner. And I will vary the height of these just a little bit, because I don't want it to look like the plant is totally sheared off at one height. I'm going to kind of have some a little bit lower, some a little bit higher. So let me prune this and you can watch what I do. I also want to think about where I want this plant to finish off height-wise at the end of this next growing season, which is about right here, even with my windowsill here. So I'm not just going to go down by one set of buds or two set of buds. I'm going to go down a little bit further because I knew new growth is going to come up to about this height. Now remember, when you're pruning, it's hard to put something back on. So if you need to start up a little higher and step back and see what it looks like, and then prune down just a little bit lower again, you can always do that. It's a little bit of a slower process, but that is perfectly acceptable to do that. Okay, let's get to pruning and cleaning this up. I'm always looking at varying the height. I can move kind of quick because I'm used to doing this, and I can always go back and cut some more. And I am looking for those nodes. I'm looking for the buds and pruning just in front of them. An angled cut does allow for water to sheet off of that bud joint. And if you have a whole bunch of these, you can move kind of quickly through the garden. And it is somewhat therapeutic, many say. And again, this first swipe through, I'm moving kind of quickly. So you can kind of see my approach to this. And what I'll do is I'll stop here in a moment and go off camera and prune away, because you don't need to watch the entire process. Okay, here we go. This hydrangea is now finished being pruned. Wait a minute, maybe another little snip and another little snip. You can always just kind of keep going and going. But this is finished up. Where we started was up about this windowsill height, which was about 5 feet. I reduced about 1/3 of the plant, so now it's down about waist high. The middle is cleaned up. The crossed branches are cleaned up. The dead branches are removed. Everywhere I pruned back to has good, solid, healthy buds at each pruning point, and I left about 1/4 of an inch for good health everywhere. So now it's open where sunlight can get into the middle. It's open so air can flow through, and when this flushes its new growth out, it will widen out to be what it was last year, and it will come up to about a height right here. Anytime a plant gets up above windowsill height, it looks like it's overgrown then. And I do like to have these great blooming plants right up here at about windowsill height, so that when you look out of the window, you can enjoy it from inside as well as outside. So just grab yourself a pair of shears and something to put the clippings in. Take your time and just start whittling it down until you're happy with what it is. And winter time, when these are dormant all the way up until that point of bud break, you can't actually prune them after bud break. You can prune them later. It's just easier now. This is a perfect time. So go have fun in the garden.